2009. There was the live championship pre-Germany. Fabio Quattroco in second place. The top two men in the rankings, the top two men on the grid. There are your circa about one man. It's been the Marques show around this 3.7 kilometre Sachsenring.
There's Pecco Bagnaia. Can he bounce back into action and find a podium here today? Piera for Aprilia. Can Aleix Espargaro now get his first podium since 20
today, where Aprilia finally get their first podium in the modern four-stroke. It's based on Miguel Oliveira's brilliant speed and consistency in FP4 yesterday. Locked shot device.
MotoGP 2021 has been quite the spectacle. What? Zarco, but Quattararo's coming through. It might well be Aleix Espargaro, and Marques has got at the inside line as well.
Inside of Marques into second place. The dream start then from the front row for Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro.
On the approach to turn 5. Excellent start from him. Quattararo pushed back to 4th. The two Frenchmen then.
Surely is going to want to try and get to an Aleix Espargaro quickly here. He loves to be leading in the Sachsenring. He's trying to get away through on Fabio Quattararo. They sweep up through turns 9 and 10. These fast left-handers. Turn 12 for the first time.
Zarco thought about a move. He wasn't close enough on Marques. It's as you were. Turn 13 in the background. Brad Binder. Oh, he is. He's having a lunge, Marques. In the meantime, Binder. Great start from him.
83 Repsol Honda leading the way. He takes the lead from Aleix Espargaro. Quattararo having a real corner.
Miguel Oliveira just struggling to get going in the early stages of this. He's 6th. He's got it. His teammate all over this to 12th. His teammate Lecuona up to 15th as well.
Disaster for two of the Yamahas. He leads in Germany.
Here's the move into turn 3rd. This is the battle for second then. Zarco just behind him. He'll be... Have a look! He's through! Brilliant from Aleix.
Nothing wrong with Aprilia's corner speed. Aleix Espargaro's touched upon that all week. He made this move on the previous lap. He's made it again. Twitchy by Aleix Espargaro's Aprilia.
Oh no, look at the Ducati power. He's got the inside line now. Can he get through? No. Look at Miller again up the inside of Fabio Quattararo.
Mistake. He did a 125 flat. That's dumped him to the back of the pack.
Mir's up to 12th for him to do. Alex Rins, his teammate, a bit further up in 8th. Martin 9th. Nakagami at the moment not really doing anything with that.
Aleix Espargaro be close enough to retaliate on Marques down the hill into turn 12, just like he did last time around. To climb up towards turn 10.
Looking back from Aleix Espargaro to Johan Zarco. Espargaro was quietly trying to find a way through, but it's that familiar sight out front. It's like rolling back the years here.
Marq down the hill into turn 12. So lap 3 to be completed. It will be Marques who sets the quicker than Espargaro behind him.
Further back there then Fabio Quattararo, not where he wanted to be.
Right, Steve, about Binder, he was the real hard charger. He is a Sunday man. He got the gloves off very early on. He's right on the so far. Started P6. He's circulating in 6th place right now.
Jack Miller in 4th, the board with the Aussie now. This is the area where Miller was suffering throughout the weekend. Second
side of the tyre, the wheel spin. Miller just couldn't get that rear tyre hooked up. He was brilliant in sector 1 all weekend. Now Aleix Marques just that little bit later on the brakes, but again there, it looked like the Aprilia man had the better
place. Yamaha not where they want to be across the board.
Yeah, Oliveira's got into his groove now. He just sets quicker than the race leader, Marques. That's why he was able to comfortably ease on through Quattararo.
All-time lap record set by Marques. Oh dear, what's happened here? Alex Marques and Danilo Petrucci
is able to keep his seat. In that case, course, as you'd expect, Petrucci's not had the best of luck this week.
We just saw further back on Jack Miller. We're on board with him now. Will we see the nose there of Miguel Oliveira?
Vinales is going to be frustrated again. The only men that are quicker than him on circuit right now are the men in 22nd place left. That early mistake dumped him to last.
Across the line, Quattararo. Alex Rins doing a great job in the early stages of this one in 8th as well. We've got all 6 manufacturers. Martin is holding off Joan Mir. Mir's getting frustrated in 10th place.
Yeah, guys, looking at the times, they're doing between half and 3/4 of a second slower than faster than that yesterday with 20 laps on. So I really think Marque's got to the front.
For that, Simon. Also, to add to that, some of the guys that have got the better pace are mired behind other bikes.
Salvador is crashed. That's going to move Morbidelli and Vinales at one spot. He with old tumble for the Aprilia man. Lap 6 completed. Marques and Aleix Espargaro exchange.
Then Quattararo just cannot find a way through on the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Rins is still there.
Taka Nakagami really didn't capitalise on the extra performance of that soft rear tyre at the start of this race. He missed from the medium front soft rear tyre combination. Nakagami down in 12th place. He was only a 10th slower than Marques.
So back at the front, it's Marques who leads on lap 7 from the Aprilia. The Ren Twitchers on this lap from the Pramac Ducati rider. It's just cut him maybe a 10th or 2 adrift now with Aleix.
Espargaro in 11th, Nakagami in 12th. They're doing 122.2s. They're all running identical pace.
How long before the cream rises to the top though? Jack Miller, what a lunge that. Why, but that's brilliant. Jack Miller, the Aussie, Just seeing the door open there from the Frenchman Johan Zarco, and he
just a few spits and they're not going to disrupt this German Grand Prix. Pecco Bagnaia is having an absolute night. Just running out of momentum here. He's in 15th right now. Bagnaia, he's a second behind Rossi.
He won't be spooked by it. There might be others that are. That did not go to plan. That start for Marques. Straight up the inside, sat up Quartararo. He lost momentum there as well. Let's look at it.
Quartararo got the initial jump, didn't he? And then Aleix Espargaro got up the inside of him, and then Marques to be aggressive.
Meanwhile, the riders have just shot past us in the commentary box. At the front, you can see here Jack Miller now is eyeing up a move on Aleix. If you are playing into the hands of Joan Mir, who found something this morning, he'll be able to see the leader and he'll be thinking, hang on.
It's almost a second out of nowhere. Over the line, Marques was leading by just a quarter of a second to go for it now, potentially with rain coming. He's a second clear of Aleix Espargaro out of nowhere. He
had to the white flag with the red cross. Rain falling.
Yeah, you can see the spots are on the camera lens.
On the curbs, there are spots of rain falling, and he slings it up the inside on the curbs, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, just when he's losing places, hand over fist, the spots of rain just seem to be disturbing the Aprilia man, Alex Marques. So Marc Marques has got his head down here now. He's 1.5 seconds clear of
just nobody more is managing tyres anymore. They're just saying, let's use them up before it rains.
Close enough to get through on Jack Miller.
Marques aware that if he builds up judging changing track conditions, Quartararo fires up the inside of Zarco in the final.
Really not comfortable with the rain falling in this early stage. And the approach now then into turn. Make hay while the sun shines, I think is the quote. He's now 1.7, looking to find a way through just up ahead there. You could see a couple of spots on that camera lens, couldn't you?
You see, this is the difference.
What's happened?
Oh, no, sorry, they were getting Marques' spare bike ready, weren't they? Yeah, I thought initially there, police scenario. Marques does not care one jot about the championship. He's not a contender, so he can throw a call. A mistake now could be really costly.
Here he comes up the inside.
Nice. Yeah.
He's been lining that one up. The dress rehearsal came a bit. Of course, that wrist, let's not forget, he won't want to take any big risks. He's dropped to 11th.
So,
Mir's up to 8th.
As we start lap number 12. Nowhere near halfway at the moment.
Board here with Johan Zarco looking at fellow Frenchman Fabio Quartararo. They are 1 and 2 in the world.
Marques through sector 2. Actually, Oliveira's just found a smidgen of time back. It's down to 1.
They might face even more trouble in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, trying to make all pans out. There's Quartararo then still ahead of Zarco in the battle for 5th. Binder behind them. Mir in 8th. Martin
almost 3 seconds out of contention. Oliveira's just set the fastest lap of the race. 100th quicker than Marc Marques ahead of him.
The fan wall. 8 could probably win this one. Here is Miguel Oliveira then, a 22-0.
Yeah, the question mark's going to be, has he let Marc Marques just get away? Mapping to preservation mapping just to soften the power. We expect with about 10 laps to go is where the significant drop-off will be. A punishing race for Michelin. It's all about who can manage the left grip.
In this Grand Prix, there's Wayne Martin. He's doing a great job. The rookie 9th at the moment, ahead of pole.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any silver lining, though, does it, for him? Maybe for one part of Repsol Honda. 1:21.772. Again, he finds another 10th on Marques.
They've been playing down their chances this weekend. We're jangling now. Santi Hernandez, the crew chief of Marq, gets nervous at the best of times. I wonder.
Set his personal best lap on the same lap, but it was a 1:22.063, which was Marques.
Keeping a keen eye on proceedings. Pit Byra, KTM Motorsport Director. It's been a second. Binder in 7th place for the Red Bull KTM factory riders. 1.8 the gap. Up towards turn 13 to tick off another lap. It will be now 14 laps.
He responds to Oliveira's fastest lap with his own, a 1:21.772. Fabio Quartararo, mighty close. They were all doing 22 flats, but it's still Marques and Oliveira that have got the
case. It would be some story.
Oh, what a story it would be.
But there's a long way to go. This is the line. And the last 10 laps are anyone's guess.
2 seconds for the first time in this race. Marc Marques.
Flag-to-flag race in Le Mans. You won't want to remember that one too fondly, of course, crashing out twice in the ring. And the undisputed king of the ring is on course at the moment to do it again.
Marques in 2021 he's fighting back to full fitness after that career-threatening injury. Again, these two just keep exchanging fastest laps of this Grand Prix, and again
There is Miller, Lacia Spargaro, Quartararo, Zarco at the moment in 6th.
Quickest lap is a 21.7. Marques is just a fraction slower, so the gap just doesn't really deviate. It's lap 8 or 9. Marque's been able to manage that gap quite comfortably at the moment, although of course we've still got to get to
Marque's teammate just up ahead of Pecco Bagnaia and Alex Rins, who from him, Nakagami's not really done much with that soft rear. Rossi's there in 14th place, not running bad. You would expect to see Rossi a bit further ahead than this. He's into the late 22s at the moment. He's
going for at the moment because he's in 5th place. Rossi's 14th,
matching lap times at the front again.
But get that gap down to under 1.7 seconds. There are two Yamaha men really struggling. Maverick Vignati with Suzuki in 2015. In fact, he's only ever once finished outside of points. Once in 17th he was.
Well, there's not just a gap forming here at the front in terms of this 2 second now is falling away. Cannot maintain the pace to keep up with Miguel Oliveira. However, we remember
in the first 2 sectors, that's where he's able to take those crucial couple of tenths out of Oliveira. And then Oliveira, taking the KTM at the moment, has just got that little bit of better edge grip.
Alberto Puig
by Zarco. He's really, really struggling at the moment.
This was the move for the World Championship leader. He needed to do that.
Up for grabs here because Miller's dropping into sort of mid-22s. Quite working out a plan to get on par with Miller and then work out a plan to pass him as well and secure what we're Sector 3 is where the KTM is better. It just seems to be managing the rear tyre, the rear grip better through
on Zarco in the battle for 6th. Across the line we go at 21.8, 3 tenths quicker that time. Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, that's impressive. Marques then back in the 22s. Binder and Zarco, I think he should give to me on a track notoriously hard to overtake on. He's done a lot of work just to get himself in.
Yeah, they found something in Sector 4 this morning. It's working out well. This gap at the front is going to come down now.
He's down in 15th place at one point, but he's doing 22 flats.
Miller was struggling there on the exit of turn 11. Quartararo, the Frenchman, the championship leader then, is onto the podium. He's in 3rd. 1.9. It's 1.4 seconds between Marques and Oliveira.
And Marques down to a lot quicker than him. 11 laps to go, so we're 1 lap away from where it's really all about time.
He couldn't find his way around.
Steve, the quickest man on circuit right now, you keep mentioning is Bagnaia. In terms of race pace on Friday and Saturday, particularly in FP2 and FP4, he was running the eye, but he's paying so much for that heavy traffic in qualifying yesterday. If he'd have been on the front row, if spots
the Italian with 11 laps to go, he might still get something on offer though. There's a big group of riders up ahead of him I can still be a part of. There's still lots to play for in here, and out front the gap's going to come down. There is Bagnaia involved in this group.
He's got to put a move on Martin super quick. This lap, it has to come this lap if he's got any.
Quartararo trying to get into his mode. He was putting in lots of 121s yesterday in this race. Just a bit further behind there, Brad Binder now. A pest to Lacia Spargaro trying to get through.
Because there's a freight train gathering behind him. Led by Lacia Spargaro, Binder's there as well. Zarco come. It had to come at this stage to give himself any kind of chance to find his way back into contention.
8 from winning, but the gap again is another 10th gone. It's going to be some late pressure here for
pressure. We're about to find out how he can handle it here now in Germany. He is on course right now with consecutive victory for Honda, who've had a nightmare over the last 18 months or so.
That's not been bad pacing.
Very, very close to that indeed. Again, Marques, he's just able to take a 1/10.5 out of Oliveira. The Honda, the turning of the Honda in those gnarly first couple of sectors is working better than the KTM, but it's the rear grip of the KTM.
Though 3.7 seconds further back, Fabio Quartararo and this huge bundle of riders. Bagnaia will be a part. He cannot watch.
Well, they know what's coming.
It's normally the Jaws music the other way round.
Yeah.
Marques has got to try and keep his cool because this Portuguese man with so much confidence flowing through his veins is going here.
Yeah, and once Bagnaia got through on Martin, he was able to immediately drop back straight into the 21. Do you know what? Bagnaia is so hard to overtake around this Sachsenring circuit. He has got podium pace unquestionably.
Well, there's about to be something.
A cracking ride by Binder. He was last at the end of FP circuit on a MotoGP bike, not an easy task, but he always finds something. At 2 o'clock
the inside he goes. In the meantime, out front, the gap maintained at 1.1 between Marques.
Section that Oliveira's been just a slightly quicker man. He was in the 129s himself again, up 1 second's time in his pocket as well. 7 laps to go. Pressure building up ahead.
7 laps to go, but it's a short circuit out front. 1.1 through sector 1. Marques leads. Time if he goes on to win this one. What are we watching here? A replay into turn 1. Has he just gone into 2? Then it's sector 3 and 4 you need to keep an eye on. Alberto Puig to Takeo Yama. So it's going to be under a second, you'd feel, over the line.
Turbulent times for Marques and HRC since they returned to the Premier Class in 1982. On the gas through turn 6 and then down the hill. It's starting to spin up. Has he got enough life left in it again there on the throttle? He has another moment. How much life has he got left in it to hold Oliveira at bay?
It's the man of the era versus the man of the bike. On the approach to turn 13, Santi Hernandez there. Marques.
Alberto Puig continuing to egg his man on. It's under a second. It is under a second.
Marques can maintain this, he'll hold on.
Stunning performance this by Pecco Bagnaia.
Getting into Q2, prick the ears up of Miguel Oliveira.
Again through turns 8 and 9, you could see that Repsol Honda, he's running out of grip here big time on that rear.
Here is Quartararo. He would got bigger problems at the moment as well. He's dropped to 8th, in this race. Here comes Marques then, 4, did well. A good response on that lap from Marques.
He's riding out of his skin at the moment, Marques. Oliveira has thrown absolutely everything at him here. He can't do any more than Miguel Oliveira. He's ridden an absolutely fantastic
centre and around the world, typing up the biggest comeback story in MotoGP. Ready to spoil all of that.
Well, there's been some great motorcycling comebacks. You think of Supersport 300 winner last weekend after such a serious back injury.
Miguel Oliveira used too much tyre in pursuit of Marques because the gap's gone over a second again. And
yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on it. Pit Byra, KTM Motorsport Director, there's Takeo Yokoyama. We were thinking about how Marques was under pressure from Oliveira, but likewise, Marques' pace has broken that resistance because there was a big gap, significant gap on that last lap between the pairs.
It's 1.5, it's from him. He's through on Jack Miller. We had KTM 2nd and 3rd. Excellent from Alicia Spargaro, and he might even have something to say about his teammate up ahead as well.
Bagnaia was doing information. He knows he was going to be quick at this stage of the race. He's just been waiting for everybody else's tyre to drop off a cliff. Looks like he's finally broken Oliveira's resistance. The gap now is up to 1.5 seconds, still through.
Last July, when we returned to MotoGP, it wasn't to be. It's been a sorry story, it's been a sad one. He had an emotional return in Portimao. The comeback king, the king of the ring. He's on for another one. He's undefeated run. And 3/4 of the Sachsenring circuit left. And he's up to 2
positions. He gets the job done. This is Binder finding her way up to 4th place. Ahead of Jack Miller. What a race
to come back to compete. He worked so hard in that test in Catalonia. He wanted to be ready for this. Climbs over the hill and crosses the line. He's got 1 lap left.
And what Marques? He has been through some of the darkest days you could imagine. Worried about what's gone through over the last 11 months or so, but nearly 600 days after his last fairy tale victory here in the Sachsenring. What a comeback, what a return, what a race, what a world champion.
Oh, the king of the ring, Marques wins here in Germany. Sporting story.
It is 11, it is heaven for Marc Marques. Can you believe it?
His own eyes. Incredible scenes. Incredible. Shout out to the KTM guys and more. Emotion here. Tears from Takeo Yokoyama. You have never seen that before. And Alberto Puig.
Losing streak since returning to MotoGP in 1982. That's all ended.
See it in his eyes on the grid that he wanted this one. Win nothing. And quite rightly, he will set off the fireworks here. And there will be fireworks going on in the lap to finish in 5th. He'll be wondering what might have been. But all of the headlines, and quite right, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Alberto Puig. He's with Simon.
Alberto, he's getting hugs from the whole team.
Well, I'm super happy for Marc and for the team and for Honda. And I mean, he deserves this win. And
Marques, the 28-year-old, he takes his 83rd Grand Prix victory. He's would ever get to soak up special moments like this again. As we mentioned, 500.
The media, the fans at home, everybody that's associated.